Yeah, this is the guy that killed himself, right? Yeah. University of Cambridge professor, Center of Plagiarism. Plagiarism row resigns. Article omits several falsehoods by Arday. Lies about sports feats. Claimed role in 7-Up show. False threats of university. Claimed receiving a pig head. He claimed receiving a pig's head. Ooh. And fake interview data. Reporting an academic challenging to his work in police. So is this the guy that basically faked all of his credentials and then nobody wanted to call him out on it because they got accused of racism? Is that it? AI detection for dear colleges. It is with profound sadness. Oh, so even his resignation letter was written with AI. Okay, yeah, so this is not a big surprise. I think anybody could have expected this. And so this is him talking, I guess, before he crashed out. Let me see.
My name is Jason Arday. I'm Professor of Sociology of Education.
See, that's how you know it's fake. It's because he's got it's like a human centipede of fake. It's like, sociology's fake, the professor is fake, the credentials are fake, the book stuff is fake, the methodology, everything about it's fake, right?
University of Cambridge, and I'm very fortunate to be the author of Great and Unfortunate Things. I was diagnosed with autism at the age of 3. I learned to speak just before the age of 12, so I was 11. I learned to read and write when I was 18 years of age. Those milestones became quite significant. 12 years after learning to read and write, I gained a PhD, and then I ended up becoming one of the youngest professorial chairs in Cambridge's history. The memoir is a story of a mother who advocated for their non-verbal and autistic child who, on a spectrum of autism in terms of global development delay and other things, navigated lots of different difficulties in this journey that ended up becoming this memoir.
Wow, great and unfortunate things. Well, it's always unfortunate when somebody takes their own life, obviously, but the guy seemed like a scammer, right? Defended disgraced DEI professor. What is this here? A victim of vile hate campaign. What is this?
I always felt it was a privilege to have a period of 11 years where maybe I couldn't speak, couldn't converse in a way that everyone else could, because it allowed me to see things in a different way.
Professor Jason Arday was diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder at the age of 3.
Like, is it crazy to me that everybody talking about this guy is talking about how he used to be retarded and now he's not anymore? Like, I mean, I feel like this is kind of like if I was... Like, for example, like if I was going to the dentist and then the dentist was like, how like you go to the dentist, right? And they have, or a surgeon, and they have like all of their, certificates and their their diplomas, right? From the place they went to and everything, right? And like this guy has like, he's your dentist and he has like, I recovered from Parkinson's disease. I used to be spastic, but I'm not anymore. Like, and I see all of these, and I'm like, holy fuck. Holy fuck. Do we need to go somewhere else? Do we need to go to a different, like, yeah, you know what I mean?
He couldn't speak until he was 11 and read or write until he was 18.
Yeah.
Throughout his early years...
See, he's too old nowadays. If he was born in the wrong generation. If he was maybe 10 years younger, he'd just be a streamer.
His parents continued to believe in him.
At 18, my mum had got to a point where there was only so much she could do, and she was brilliant, even though she had this belief that, he'll do something okay, but she just decided, I need someone else to believe in him as much as I believe in him.
Therapists predicted he would need full-time assistance throughout his life.
Full-time assistance.
How wrong they were.
You okay?
It was this man, college tutor Sandro Sandri, who helped teach Jason to read and write at 18.
This reminds me of Helen Keller. It does. It reminds me of Helen Keller, bro. Like, holding their hands and shit like this, right? Oh my God.
I'm just
This is the Netflix adaptation.
so happy for him. I'm speechless, to be honest. But I never doubt a moment
Shoes on the other
they
foot.
would achieve where he is.
Yeah.
Sandro would spend hours of his free time teaching Jason.
There's one thing you said to me which I never forgot, and it was when I was 22, and I said to you I was thinking about doing a PhD, and you said to me, like, it would be the greatest story in the world if the kid who didn't know how to read and write managed to get a PhD. Like, and you said, like, I think
it's crazy how, like, really, whenever you say, whenever he's explaining it, it's clearly this is his own reflected self-aggrandizement, right? Where, like, okay, well, I'm gonna position myself as the person who got this retard to have a PhD, and, like, you know, at the same time, I'm gonna be like the biggest virtue signaler. And you put this guy basically, you know, you're putting this guy on the top of a bridge or the top of a building, and then they jump off, right? I think that you need to look at the different people that allowed this to happen. It's a huge issue.
You know, we can take on the world, or you can take on the world, and you can win.
Take on the world.
And I
Wow.
never forgot that.
And now Jason is days away from achieving another ambition.
Hey, so good to see you.
Here's his new boss at Cambridge.
We do have a lot of work to do,
Yeah.
but I feel really optimistic. I think
Part of his research will look at new ways to make higher education more accessible for everyone.
What can we do to ensure that this isn't a market appointment in 5 years' time? How can this become the norm?
we've listened to the voices of our black scholars and our black students.
This is important because you see, black people don't read books the same way that white people do. Yeah, this is really important. Thank you, Karen. Yeah, because see, black people don't see, like, whenever they go to school, it's a totally different type of thing, right? Like, you can't just teach a white person the same way you teach a black person. Like, how is it that the KKK and these people think the same thing? Really? Like, I mean, doesn't that seem like a problem to you? Holy shit.
And some of it has not been easy to hear, to be honest, but we're able to
like
face
what?
up to some of the structural issues.
There's a structural issue. There's a structural issue with Cambridge that has to do with black people. Obviously, you know, these people love living in ambiguity. Like, what does this really mean? What do you mean by this? What are you trying to say? Nothing, right? Absolutely nothing.
People that people face.
There will be those that think this is a tokenistic appointment. What are your thoughts on this?
It's a tokenistic appointment.
The board of electors on your interview day were absolutely unanimous. We are so lucky to have you.
You're not a token because we all wanted you to be one? Like, I like, that's not even... Jesus Christ, like, how is it that, like, because if you go back and you listen to even... It's actually crazy. It's so cliche to say this, but I think it's really true, is that we are edging towards idiocracy so fast. It's happening so fast. And, like, nowadays, if you listen to presidential debates, if you listen to the news, if you listen to professors talk about things, like, go back and watch an interview with J.R.R. Tolkien or, I'm trying to think of, like, other people that are, like, really well spoken, right? But, like, just in general, like, I can't think of a lot. Okay, I'm not used to thinking quickly on my stream. I've been off stream for a while. But you know, again, like any old psychologist, you know, Sigmund Freud or somebody like that, they're gonna Carl Sagan, you know, these people, the level at which they communicate, you don't even see this anymore. It's very problematic.
The best in the world in terms of the research that you do.
An extraordinary journey, but for Jason, this is not an end, it's a beginning.
The reaction has been amazing, and I'm truly grateful to everyone for their kind sentiment and kind words. We've got a lot of work to do.
Celestina Olulode, BBC News, Cambridge.
Yeah. Joseph Campbell is the guy I was thinking of. And yeah, I watched interviews with him too. And it's the thing is that you listen to interviews with these people and then you compare it and it's just a totally different world. It really is. J.K. Rowling, perhaps. That wasn't who I was thinking of, right? It's hilarious in so many levels. They desperately wanted a hero for their fantasy inclusion narrative, and by God, he gave them one. I don't really blame him. He's a chancer, a con man, and a charlatan. I even have a begrudging degree of admiration for him. Why wouldn't he take them? He's absolutely begging to be had, but it's also sinister. You can bet your life that every university faculty faculty harbors similar Walter Minty character who's adorned by simpering morons with short fringes, blue hair, tattoos, and excess weight. It's a national scandal, but if you talk about it, of course, you're racist. So this guy basically ended up killing himself after it was exposed, I guess. Is it a press censorship for investigating a journalist who tried to expose this person? Wait a minute. So they're trying to now expose... Oh my God. I didn't know it was this bad. Jesus, James Arday has been found dead in his apartment. Oh my God. Yeah, let me just go through, like, I'm gonna just go through all of these real quick and pick all of them out and look at all this. And White Guild is now assuming every race is inferior to themselves, I guess. The tragic death of Professor Jason Arday forces us... Here we go. The tragic death of Professor Jason Arday forces us to confront the impossible standards placed on black people and their devastating consequences. The black... this is... So let me get... I don't even understand... Like, how does this even make any sense, right? Because, like, you think about it... So... He was only in the position because of DEI initiatives, right? And they're talking about him being black the whole time, right? And so how is it that he's both gaining this advantage, but he's also the one that's being killed for it? Doesn't even make sense, right? It's insane. And possible standards of not cheating. The Telegraph identified more than 100 examples of identical or near identical wording between Paula Zoak-Meyer's thesis and Jason Arday's thesis. Avoiding plagiarism is a minimum standard, not an impossible standard for academics. Yeah, let's all hear about how black people can't avoid plagiarism. And let's hear this from the people that aren't racist. Let's hear them explain to us why you're racist for thinking that people shouldn't plagiarize. Definitely. We're not impressed. Visceral, naked, irrational hatred spouted by defenders of Jason Arday. Cambridge professor is accused of being an unqualified charlatan. The accusation may be emotionally motivated. On the other hand, it might not, depending on the evidence. The correct question to ask is not what is the color of his skin, but the fact is it true that he's an unqualified charlatan? I think that this is what's happened with a lot of cases where you've had people that have been promoted to positions of incompetence, and they do that. They get these positions because they are an identity. They are part of an identity group. And I think that you can clearly see this happen with video games, and you can just look at the way that teams are designed. And this needs to be totally removed. Like, all DEI stuff and everything is, in my opinion, a complete and absolute fucking, like, it's antithetical to Western culture. Fundamentally, I think DEI is. Like, because the entire idea is having, like, a meritocracy and having the ability to, you know, like, put yourself out there. But for some reason, Cambridge is at fault here. Yeah, for some reason, people care more about the way something looks rather than what it actually is. Richard Dawkins is totally right about this. First, it was $110K for funeral costs, and now it's $200K. Oh my God. Oh, Jesus, man. I just, let me see, how much is it up to now? Oh, this is just it's just a fucking random thing, right? And so they're obviously trying to raise money. I mean, Arday waged lawfare against the men who questioned his thesis. He filed a police harassment report against the journalist. Wait a minute. So this gets even better. This actually makes me a lot less sympathetic to him. So this guy filed a police report against somebody who was trying to investigate whether he was, like, fucking scamming. Is this... Did this happen? Like, oh my God. Yes? Wow. Okay, well, there you go, right? I feel a lot less bad for him now. Filed a police harassment report against Jake Grove and reported academic David Harris to police for... Reported an academic to the police for racism. This is one of the most UK statements and UK sentences I've ever read. Because Harris questioned his, quote, work. No sympathy from me. Yeah, I think my sympathy is also rapidly evaporating. I'm under investigation by my university for discriminating against Arday. So it looks like this person... So now he's being investigated for questioning whether this guy was authentic or not. Wow. Oh my God. They said they sent him a pig head and a masked man someone tried to stab him. Well, and I think this is what's so funny about this is that this fantasy that, like, people, they don't want to see a black person who's successful. Now, don't get me wrong. There are racist people out there, and they are evil, and they're awful, and nobody should be okay with it. But some of the most conservative people out there, their favorite justice is Clarence Thomas, and one of their favorite economists is Thomas Sowell. Okay? So, what are we doing here? Like, are we really trying to pretend? Are we still trying to ride this same hobby horse in 2026? It's embarrassing. That's the guy who uncovered it all. He had to post it on his Substack because journalists refused to cover it. So no journalist wanted to talk about the fact that Cambridge invited a black professor in that made up all of his... It's really, guys, it's really something special. You can't make this shit up. Yeah, and it's just sad. They kept it quiet for years. I bet they did. And I also got fired from the University of Belgium. Again, and by the way, this is created by a council of Karens. Like, I can guarantee you that this evil, as with many other evils, most other evils, I would say, or at least societal evils, are perpetuated by councils of Karens. And they enable this type of behavior so they can feel good about themselves. That's just what happens. It's very annoying, but there it is. This is what communism looks like. Oh, this is what any level of suppression like that looks like. I mean, it's really what it is. They kill them with kindness. In an ironic way, you're right. I was just suspended from Ghent University. They will almost certainly fire me. The decision was made by Rector Petra de Sutter, a former leader of the Green Party. Yeah, there it is. I mean, again, it's insane how much these people care about forcing this ideology on everybody. And I do really hope that one day people can open their eyes and recognize that these people do need to be stopped. And you need to pull out you need to use every rule in the book and then write new ones to, like, not only, you know, proactively prevent new things from this happening, but punish the people that did this, right? Because these people are just, they're ruining every institution they're a part of. They are. And they're getting away with it, which is what the biggest issue is. That conservatives and a lot of anybody who's right-wing or even a moderate, they have this idea of principles, and they have this ideal that's weaponized against them that the moment that you apply the rules in your favor, you are being biased. But the moment that somebody else does it in their favor, well, then you just should shake your head and say that that's not what you should do. So what happens, the end result of this is that, you know, more power accumulation ends up on the other side. And you spend 40 years of this happening, 50 years of this happening since like the 60s or 70s, and you have these institutions that are completely captured by ideologues with a some sort of agenda, right? They have an agenda with all of this. It can only last for so long. I think that it is coming to a head. It is. I think it's very clearly coming to a head. Anti-Confas hate rally in Trafalgar Square with 15,000 attendees. Wait, what? Oh my God.
A race realist. He was dismissed by Emmanuel College.
Uh-huh.
Because of his racism. And
Wow.
insisted.
It's always racism. The UK is insane. It really is. Well, they're totally cucked from Hitler. It's like what I've said before. Ever since World War II, it's been illegal to have an opinion that you don't want to live with, you know, savage value systems from the third world. It's now illegal to have an opinion that you want to live around people that are like you. Like, it created and it basically poisoned the entire Western world with white guilt. That's what's happened. I think that's what happened with Hitler. If it wasn't for Hitler, we wouldn't have any of these issues. And I really do believe that. I think that really him and like how stupid and bad the Nazis were was so bad that now everybody has to preemptively act in a way that's not like that. Fuck Hitler. Yeah, I mean, it really, I'm just, I know this. Usually people don't like him for things like, I don't know, like the Holocaust or something, right? Which, yeah, I think that's pretty fair. But there's also this too. This is also bad. Now I hate Hitler. No, now. Well, I never saw it that way. You know what? Now you bring it up that way. Yeah, wow. So true. I thought it was the art. Yeah, definitely. And conspiracy theorists proven right again. Leftists did scheme behind the scenes to get rid of CONFAS. Exactly. The document's proposal for reporting the negative effects of being well-being members of the department and reporting the strengths of leadership as well. A guide to support it lists the various options. Oh my God. I dare say Nathan will lose his position at Gantt, and that'll send a message to other young academics. They will. And then, unless you, again, this guy, like, there are a lot of very good-natured Western men that I think are going to have to do things that will make people sad in order to preserve the society that we live in. I think that really you have to go after these people in a serious way. You do. And if you don't do that, they will rule over you with an iron fist that is insane. Like, it's not even like, you know, for example, like with China, for example, like you can say China rules with an iron fist. Yeah, but at least they have like light up skyscrapers and stuff, right? These people rule with an iron fist and you have Skid Row. So you don't even get any of the benefits from fascism. You're not even getting any of the benefits of a totalitarian, you know, like fucking central planned government. So you have the worst of both worlds. You have third worldization of everywhere around you, and you also have fucking total control. It's like, at least in China, things look nice, right? I mean, they have nice buildings, right? It's the same as other, like, right, Russia actually is kind of a shithole. But like, you know, in some places it's not. And we want fascist benefits now. Yeah, either give us the fascist benefits or stop being fascist. Like, I don't want to live in a shithole world if we have, like, that's the whole trade-off here. Dubai, yeah, Dubai's like this. Yeah, what the hell is this? Moscow's beautiful? Yeah, it's like one place though, right? I mean, Russia's a really big place. So, I don't know. Russia has those fancy roofs. Well, that's St. Petersburg, which is the other place that Russia, it's another really, really famous place. And then, oh, here we go. They care so much about Saint Jason Arday, they cannot even get his name right.
To Patrick Vernon. Friends. Sisters and brothers, I want to thank all of you for coming here tonight. We are here first and foremost for Professor James Arday.
Who's James
to pay
Arday?
Our respects.
His name is Jason.
And to stand
James Arday. Who's James Arday? What a fucking idiot, man. Oh my God. Or his kids, his wife knew he didn't run those marathons. However, in 2012, she repeated his lies on TV. Yeah, I mean, it's just the Jason Arday story. George Atterbury, the president of Oxford Union, debating Charlie Kirk here in sweatpants and a Batman t-shirt. A year later, he celebrated Charlie Kirk getting murdered. The universities have fallen so far. Well, they've been allowed to fall this far. That's the thing, is that, yeah, this is another example of another fucking idiot, right? And sure, complete disregard for self-responsibility these days is insane. It's not a disregard for responsibility. It is a regard for an ideology that transcends responsibility. It is a focus on an ideology. Once you view their ideology as a religion, everything else kind of comes into place. And I think that's the way it is.